Welcome to Trinidad. We are a group of scientists from Colorado State University that travel to this Caribbean paradise in search of very small freshwater fish called Trinidadian guppies. These are one of only a handful of fishes that give birth to live young, and they have become a model system to help us understand how animals adapt to their environments. We find these fish in many types of environments. For example, they may live in complex, large rivers at the base of the Northern Range Mountains with many other species of fishes, many of them large predators. Being only a few centimeters in length, guppies are at the bottom of the food chain. You can imagine how the need to survive in an environment among predators could shape guppy characteristics like color, size, speed, mating behavior, and even how large they are when they are ready to reproduce. As we move upstream toward the top of the mountains, the rivers get smaller and we encounter barriers such as waterfalls. Most fish cannot swim past the waterfalls, but believe it or not, guppies can. The only other fish that makes it over the falls is a killifish, which can only eat very young guppies. So without numerous large predators to worry about, these guppies spend most of their time looking for food and mates. As you might guess, guppies in these environments have very different traits compared to their counterparts that live among predators.
All right. Well, one reason we bring guppies back into the lab is so that we can control the environment. And by controlling the environment, what I mean is we get to decide who gets to mate and who gets to pass on their genes. For example, if we look at a trait like color patterns, there's a lot of variation. But when we breed guppies, we see that offspring, sons, are more similar to their fathers, and brothers are more similar to each other. This tells us something about how color patterns are inherited and passed on from one generation to the next. And this pattern of inheritance is not unique to color patterns in guppies. In fact, humans have been using this technique for thousands of years. It's the same technique used to breed for spicier chili peppers, larger fruit, and even to create new breeds of animals like breeds of dogs like Labradoodles. Humans have also used the same technique in guppies. If you go to a pet store and you look at the color patterns of pet store guppies, you see that they have big flashy tails, bright colors, much more so than their wild relatives.
So now you've heard about 3 different environments where guppies are found. Domestic guppies from pet stores, guppies that come from environments with lots of predators that we call high predation, and guppies that live in environments with few predators that we call low predation. We can compare guppies from these different habitats to study how animals adapt to their environments. For example, scientists are interested in understanding how guppies choose their mates.
When female guppies choose which male to mate with, they evaluate the male's body size, his color patterns, and his behavior. And since males don't provide any parental care or any resources to the females, the only contribution they're making are these traits, which then get passed on to the female's offspring. And to attract the females, males often use courtship displays to show off their color patterns. However, these displays make them conspicuous or visible in their environment, which may be dangerous depending on where they live.
Because all male guppies have unique color patterns, we can actually use drawings to identify individuals in observations. So in this case, we're following one focal individual and recording each of the behaviors that he exhibits. And when we do this, this allows us to ask questions. For example, which traits do females find most attractive? And that's going to differ depending on the environment.
So you've heard a lot about how guppies reproduce and pass on their genes to the next generation. But another very important part of guppy biology is survival, which includes escaping from predators.
Guppies experience a lot of different kinds of predators in the wild. For example, like cichlids that you can see here. But it's very difficult for us to understand those interactions between predators and the guppies in that natural environment. And so again, we bring these guppies back into the lab and we can film them with a high-speed camera, which is used to slow down the motion. And from those videos, we can make calculations such as velocity and acceleration that start to tell us a little bit more about how traits such as body size and fin shape contribute to how well these guppies are able to escape those predators that they experience.
All of the scientists you've just met, as well as researchers from other universities, use guppies to better understand adaptation. Just like guppies, all organisms need to survive and reproduce, and the way they achieve this differs depending on the environment. So we can use guppies to understand how other animals adapt to changing environments.